the State Board of Education will likely approve yet another set of revisions to California's plan to comply with the federal Every Student Succeeds Act at its meeting in Sacramento this week, and this time state officials are very optimistic that the plan will finally get U.S. Secretary of Education Betsy DeVos' signature. U.S. Education Secretary Betsy DeVos speaks to the news during a press conference held at the Heron Bay Marriott about her visit to Marjory Stoneman Douglas High School in Parkland on March 7, 2018 in Coral Springs, Florida. DeVos was visiting the high school following the February 14 shooting that killed 17 people. Photo by Joe Rettel, Getty Images. The optimism stems from a June 29 letter from Jason Botel, one of DeVos's top lieutenants, stating that the most recent draft of the plan appears to meet all applicable statutory and regulatory requirements, and I intend to recommend that Secretary DeVos approve the plan. If she does, it would end a nearly year-long ordeal during which California twice saw its plan rejected by the U.S. Department of Education. The state is currently one of only 5 whose plans have yet to be approved by DeVos. In the plan, state officials describe how they will improve California's lowest-performing low-income schools in return for about $2.4 billion in federal funding for low-income children, teacher training and services for migrant children and English learners. The Every Student Succeeds Act, which received bipartisan congressional approval in 2015 to replace the widely criticized No Child Left Behind Act, requires states to identify the lowest-performing 5% of their low-income schools, of which there are about 300 in California. Federal money can be used for comprehensive support for those schools. The state also must identify schools with specific student groups performing at the same level as the lowest-performing schools. These schools, which could number in the thousands in California, will receive targeted support that can be paid for with federal dollars. Ad choice advertising and red invented by Tees. The law allows each state the freedom to choose how to improve student achievement, but its plan for doing so must get federal approval. California first submitted its plan last September, but the feds rejected it in December on grounds that it lacked precise goals for improvement and clarity on how the state would hold schools accountable for making progress. State officials resubmitted the plan in April and were surprised by another rejection in early June. But this time the reasons for the rejection were more technical or ticky-tacky, and do not materially change the plan submitted in April, said David Sapp, Deputy Policy Director and Legal Counsel for the State Board of Education. The most significant of those changes has to do with the number of years of low performance by one or more student groups that would qualify a school for targeted support. In the plan state officials submitted in April, a student group would have to perform in the bottom 5% for 3 out of 4 years to be identified for targeted support, which aligns with how the state plans to identify consistently low-performing schools through its new accountability system, known as the California School Dashboard. However, since the dashboard has been up and running for only 2 years, federal officials rejected the 3 out of 4 year criteria. The revised plan calls for schools to be eligible for targeted support after 2 consecutive years of low performance. This means low-performing schools will be identified during the coming school year rather than in 2 years. We were pleased to work with the Department of Education and get all the outstanding issues resolved, and received the letter that confirmed the department staff will recommend approval of the plan to DeVos. With these revisions we are bringing to the board for approval, Sapp said. The State Board of Education meeting is scheduled for Wednesday and Thursday. AD Quality Auto 360p 720p 1080p. You might also like football. Ronaldo accepts 2 years in prison. Almost. Straits Times 020. Order the sausage McMuffin with egg anytime you like. McDonald's World Cup. Argentina's Messi is different from Barca's. Straits Times 1 o'clock. Toshiba is shaping tomorrow's world today. Toshiba APAC. Dining alone or with loved ones. Enjoy discount at HSBC. This 29-year-old made $10 million in watches in 3 years. Defolio. Porn star Olivia Nova, who died Sunday, wanted to be. MercuryNews.com. Kim Kardashian shares full frontal nude photos as. MercuryNews.com. Love struck Donald Trump Jr. saves Kimberly Guilfoyle. MercuryNews.com recommended by